You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast, here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Thad, and joining me is my co-host, Chrissy. How are you today?
I'm all right. The computer systems are acting up a bit. I don't know about this holographic interface we have going. I think it's really just better to go back to screens. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm thinking that it would make sense to have an override for a blast door to be on both sides of the door.
That's an excellent idea. I hope they put that into the next batch of ships. Seems life-saving.
Also joining us today is BQN's own Christos Giannaris of the world-famous podcast, What's the T-Bev? Christos, how are you today?
I am amazing. How are you, Thad and Chrissy?
Oh, we're great.
We're good.
We're here to talk Star Trek, so how bad could it be?
I mean, that's my best day, right? If we're talking Star Trek, everything is good in the world.
It's my favorite thing to do. Before we jump into the topics today, we would like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producers, Carl Wonders and Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly Patreon subscription of just $5, you can join our Meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. Watch your Patreon messages for details. So, it's been a month since we last sat in front of our microphones, so some things have happened. We know that Discovery is coming on April 4th with a 2-episode premiere.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
Yes, that'll be great. That's great for everybody except people who do weekly podcasts about Star Trek, but we'll figure it out.
It's a good problem to have.
It is.
Yes,
I will never complain about having too much Star Trek.
I don't know. If we have two different shows and they both have 2-hour blocks, then I might complain a little bit.
And when Netflix drops at least 10 episodes of Prodigy at one time, that's going to be fun.
I think it's just a live stream for you guys, right? You just go live and just talk about it in real time. Maybe it's a watch along or something like that.
A 5-hour live stream of us watching Prodigy.
I'd tune in.
It's not the worst idea I've heard.
We could break it up. I mean, and make it.
You got to put in bathroom breaks and all that stuff.
All right, so I'm just excited to finally be getting the season because it's been so long since the last season.
2 years,
obviously,
literally.
The only thing I don't like is that it is the final season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of that final season, we have episode titles. The first 2 episodes that we'll be getting on April 4th are Red Directive and Under the Twin Moons. So, Red Directive, my only thought with that is, that makes me think of the 2009 Star Trek movie with the red matter and all that. And we also know that the plot of season 5 is an ancient Romulan artifact, I think, is what they said. So
ship.
Was it a ship?
Ancient 800-year-old Romulan, 800-year-old Romulan vessel, that would
around the time of the supernova.
Yeah, well, it's exactly the same schematic as the ship that's in the next phase, the scout ship.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, well, tune into this week's What's the T-Bev for a breakdown of that. But yes,
right.
it's the same. There is actually, that vessel appears very briefly in a screen during the, I don't know what footage we have seen. And of course, someone froze a screenshot on it and did a side by side. It's the same vessel. It's the same class. Yeah. Well, I think if anything, it just tells us it's a TNG era
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any connection there, but we are telling. I think there's going to be a Berman era connection. That's what I think.
Yeah, so I'm still wondering if maybe Red Matter is going to play into this, though, because 800 years is the TNG era, is around the time of the supernova. So let's see.
Well, I think we're going to get the story of the Romulan supernova. I think we're going to get what really happened.
That would be good.
I mean,
yeah. The titles in general, I'm not really sure what most of them are going to mean. We'll find out when we see them. Episode 3 is Janal. 4 is Face the Strange. 5 is Mirrors. So, are we going to get another Mirror Universe episode? I hope not, actually, but...
Well, I mean, we might have something about Georgiou.
A backdoor pilot for the Section 31 movie? Can you do a backdoor pilot for something that's already coming? Does that work?
That's more like just a introductory
setup
piece.
Yeah.
Setup.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Whistle Speak, so that's interesting. And Eriga, Labyrinths. Oh, I'm sorry. You have something? Lagrange Point, which is a celestial navigation thing, I believe. It's been mentioned in Star Trek before as part of the technobabble in the past. And Life Itself is the final episode of the series.
I love that. That just feels heavy. What I was going to do, because Igira, or however that's going to be pronounced, sounds like it kind of looks Greek, kind of looks Latin. So I Googled, and the first thing that comes up that is actually spelled that way is the IMDb episode page. There's other, how Google is like, did you mean? And I did the same thing with Janal, because Janal, I don't know, it could be something. And again, same thing. The first thing that comes up is something called Gina AI, which, given what we're going to talk about today. And then the next thing is Metacritic with the listing of the episodes. So there goes potentially knowing something about what was going on. Because of language.
So there's also just a little bit more here that I haven't thrown into the little washing machine here.
Okay.
Please.
So Sonequa Martin Green, that's what we're here for. Sonequa Martin Green has teased some cameos. So I think we're going to see some Berman era thing. And Kelvin over there on View Screen, I was on View Screen this last week, and we got into this whole little chatter about Sela. And maybe Sela had something to do with that Romulan supernova, or maybe that backstory, and maybe we're going to see her in some of these flashbacks, or maybe something in that Romulan ship's computer core, holographically or something like that. So we're all hoping for that. That's speculation, obviously, but hey.
And that could explain why she wasn't in Picard season 3. Because we know that at least some actors have been told that the reason they weren't asked to be in one show is because another show was considering them.
And it's just beautiful.
Amazing.
It's beautiful. I've talked enough about that game on this show, but you guys, so good. If it ever gets social, then we'll have a whole big old crowd, but anyway, sorry.
Anyway, so that's interesting. I wonder now if we're going to get Denise Crosby.
I'm hoping for it. That we'll be premiered by. Well, yeah, we'll have seen the first few episodes by D&I Con, but I plan on spending a little time with Denise at D&I Con. So I mean, we'll
I wonder if I can. If I can talk to her at the bar on the cruise and get her to spill something.
Don't get her in trouble, man. Don't get her in trouble.
No comment.
I'm not putting that on the podcast, but I'm saying not off the record. I wonder because she, shall we say, Denise Crosby has been known to imbibe a little on the cruise. So
I've heard that.
I've had to help her a few times.
Oh wow!
I remember the one time that she showed up for the lip sync of the TOS episode, and she literally crawled onto the stage.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying it's possible that Denise Crosby might spill some information on the cruise if she knows anything.
Yes. Cool.
Well, if you do find out something, let us know, and we.
Oh, absolutely. It
won't
won't
be
on the podcast, but yes.
Put this. Don't talk about this on any BQM podcast, but
Yeah.
Where was I going? See, this is why we have to do that kind of editing. Oh, it wasn't Sela in the in one of the Picard novels, or she was mentioned in one of the Picard novels in the lead up? I can't remember now.
She was probably mentioned in the first one, the one that's about the Romulans.
And that's the one that does let on that it was that what happened to the Romulan star was man-made.
Yeah, it was.
That's
the Tal Shiar's fault or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't really get said much in the series, or not at all, I don't think. But in the novels, it does let on that it was man-made or suspected to be. And that was like the big thing. They're trying to keep it hush-hush because they didn't want that to get out. Yeah. And some of that's been changed already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has.
When Jean-Luc's being promoted to Admiral, there's a goodbye scene with Beverly, and I think that got overridden by Picard season 3. Stuff like that.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny that book's gotten overwritten now, because I remember when the book came out, there were a bunch of people mad because it was overwriting the Litverse, and now the book itself has been overwritten.
Well,
the Litverse was on its way out.
It was, but people didn't know that when the book came out because they hadn't seen Picard yet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. We didn't know. Oh well.
That's one thing that Star Trek and Star Wars have in common, is that they've come back to making more content since the Disney purchase of Star Wars and since the 2017 Discovery verse started. The new Trek, all their lit verses of like 20 years got blown up.
Mm-hmm. Legacy.
Yeah, and honestly, it was never. But the thing that the people that get mad about the Litverse don't realize is that the books were never canon. Back in the 90s, there were all sorts of stuff in those books that got overwritten by the shows constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were episodic, just like, and then the beautiful, tie the bow on it. Spoiler for Coda, it's just an alternate universe, which is fine.
Which I would fine with if they hadn't killed them all, but
yes. But
I do not need to rant about Coda for the 700th time on this podcast. So
it's okay.
I'm also, very, very cognizant of that time we went out to dinner at STOV, Christos, and you complained about how long our podcast recordings are.
Clear my morning, man. It's going to be a long one. It's okay though. I love shooting the shit, so it's all good.
Some people's podcasts are very structured and put together like a television show, and some of
that's great for them.
Wander off. Yeah. I just had a random funny joke before we get out of this tangent.
Excellent.
Whistle Speak. I think Whistle Speak is going to be the unreleased Bridgerton / Star Trek crossover. Lady Whistledown's going to jump on the Discovery and spill some tea, as it were.
I was thinking it was going to be, Cetacean Ops.
Ooh. That actually might be. Oh, anyway.
I love it.
So also, Lower Decks Season 4 is coming to Blu-ray April 16th. I already have my copy pre-ordered.
And on digital already.
Yes.
With the special features.
Oh, I didn't know that.
CBS finally got the memo, maybe dating back to Season 1 of Strange New Worlds. But from there on, they started dropping all the special features digitally. So if you buy Season 1 or 2 of Strange New Worlds on iTunes, or if you get Season 3 of Picard, and now Season 4 of,
I don't suppose they retroactively added them to the older seasons, did they?
I haven't looked, but probably not. But that used to be my biggest beef about the digital releases. But if you want them now, you could buy it digitally.
I think this is the first time they've done a digital release ahead of the Blu-ray, too. Usually it comes out the same time.
Just about
Or
right.
like a week before.
Yeah. And maybe they're trying to like train people differently. But I tell you, things are so uneven in the streaming wars. I've actually taken to buying physical copies again, which is, something I thought I was done with.
I buy things on iTunes when they're cheap. Like if there's a sale on something I like, I'll buy it. Or if it's a show that doesn't get a Blu-ray release and I really like it, then I might. And this is fewer and farther between now, but it used to be if there was a show that was airing on cable, I would buy it so that I could have it on iTunes and watch it the day after it came out. That doesn't because I don't have cable, but that's less of a thing these days.
And periodically they do these big Star Trek sales on iTunes. Mm-hmm. I predict the next one will be around First Contact Day, which was what Discovery released, but they'll probably, the seasons drop to like $5 to $10, and or the entire series are cheap then.
What I wish, and the only ones that ones that I've purchased that do this at all is HBO. The other studios do not. I wish it was like movies, because it is standard practice now. You buy a movie on Blu-ray, you get the digital copy.
Yes.
But if you buy a TV show, unless it's an HBO show, you don't get the digital copy.
Yeah.
I have all of Game of Thrones digitally because I own them on Blu-ray. But
nice.
Same with the Newsroom and a couple other shows. But no other network does that. So it's frustrating because I own all of Star Trek. Every Star Trek show that has been released on Blu-ray, I own, and everyone that hasn't, I own on DVD. And it would be great to have those digital copies automatically rather than, well, okay, let's be honest. I'm still going to, I don't buy them twice. I rip them onto my, onto my file server.
Oh, well, yeah.
But, which is legal because I own the physical copies.
Yes.
And I would do that anyway because I like to take those and make GIFs out of them and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, it's a lot easier to do that with your own DRM free copy than, but it would be really nice if they just included the digital copies. So then, I don't know, I'm gonna go on a plane trip or something. I could just easily download the episodes of whatever onto my iPad. And yes, you can do that with Paramount Plus, but there's a lot of not great workings with downloading for offline viewing in Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I've had multiple times where I'll download it, but then it still needs an internet connection to authenticate that I can watch it. And it's like, well, you've kind of defeated the purpose there, guys.
Paramount Plus app is, it's been, since there hasn't been a lot of Trek on, or hasn't been Trek on, I haven't been using the Paramount Plus app that much, and I forgot how bad it was until we went to start rewatching for this.
I started using it this week because I watched Jon Stewart's Return to the Daily Show.
Yes.
In addition to media coming, we also have books coming, so that's great. We do have a new Picard novel coming out in just a couple weeks from David Mack. We've talked about that for a bit before already, though. But the novel is the audio drama that came out a couple years ago, No Man's Land, by Kirsten Beyer, with about Seven and Rafi. That is getting a novelization this November.
Is that what that is? That's great.
Yes. Based on the fact that it appears to be a very rather short book, it looks like they're not fleshing it out in any way. They're just novelizing the existing story, but that'll still
okay. So, it's a little reader then.
Yeah. And we also got an announcement of a new Strange New Worlds novel. So this is great. We are getting more novels this year than we got last year, which is, low bar to clear. But because there's also a TNG novel coming out this year too, I think, right?
Yeah. I think there's, and it's about, there's 2 novels coming. The TNG one, there's a DS9 and a TNG, like we got a few years back. It's going to deal with events on the Enterprise as the Cardassian War with Bajor is ending. And we go to DS9 when it's still technically Terok Nor, and it's a Ro Picard type story. Pre-Cisco showing up at DS9. So it sounds pretty, it's a really... it's a very specific period in time that I think fans will love to see fleshed out more. So it's pretty cool. And I don't know what the DS9 one's about.
Yeah, and we just got an announcement last week, I think it was, of Strange New Worlds novel coming in September by Una McCormick, and it's called Asylum, and it will be about Pike and Una. Apparently it'll have flashbacks to when they first met when he was teaching at the academy and she was a pupil, and it will also have flash forwards to a mission that they're on, so that could be interesting.
Yeah. So, speaking of Una McCormick, one of my favorite Star Trek authors, in this current episode, Star Trek Explorer current issue, there is a very short story called Jack of Diamonds that she wrote. It's a Jack Crusher, Beverly Crusher story pre-Picard season 3. So, and that is a novelization I'm waiting for, is a Beverly Crusher fill in the 20-year gap.
That's surely coming.
Yeah, I know. It's a matter of time. And that audiobook needs to be read by Gates McFadden, who has some history with reading audiobooks,
Yeah.
It could be. They haven't normally done that.
Well, not in the current world, but back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s, that was how they did them all, yeah.
Yeah. Because she reads Reunion, which is one of my favorite.
Oh, I love Reunion. That was the first Star Trek book I ever read.
So good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is a little bit more of a Beverly Crusher story than you think it is when you look at the cover or read the back of the book.
Oh, yeah.
But so I was hoping, that's my wish list novel for a Picard prequel novel for Beverly. And just maybe the fact that Una's written, and I want Una to write it. And just the fact that she's already written this short story tells me maybe that's something that's in the coffer. And this was maybe a tester.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that's probably the next novel. We'll probably get that next year, because this year we're getting the Picard, the 7 novel. So next year we'll probably get, they'll probably do another fill in the blanks novel, because that's what they've been doing with these current show novels. Right,
and I hope we get more than one for season 3 Picard. I'd love to get a little bit, on what Geordi was up to for 20 years.
Oh yeah,
or, there's all kinds of, and Worf. There's all kind of stories to tell there.
Yeah. And, these might be sitting already half done, considering all of the shenanigans that happened with the publications. So, what was going on with the publishers. So, hopefully.
I love it. Star Trek literary nerds.
Yeah.
That's us. We're all in the same boat.
If they ever stop making new episodes, which I hope they don't, we can transition to a book podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
There will eventually be a pause again, and that's fine,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it yet. Let's keep going, but it'll happen.
I mean, I wasn't ready in 2005, and I'm not ready now, but that's not going to stop them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, half an hour into this recording, let's talk about the subject matter.
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery Season 2. I, being, a professional here, actually did go and watch the entire season to prepare for this podcast.
I tried.
I probably rewatched 75% of it.
Yeah.
And that's, and mostly on the bookends. Some of the middle ones are the ones I didn't get to see because I needed to get to the end. It's a 14 episode season.
Oh yeah.
And some of those are hour-long episodes.
Yeah. I did it over the course of this week, and I spent quite a lot of my free time doing it. I will say, I really enjoyed some of those middle ones because I hadn't seen them since they first aired. Whereas, some of the big ones I'll go back and rewatch from time to time, but I had not done a full season rewatch since it came out. So there were a couple episodes that were oh yeah, I haven't seen this since 2018. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thought I have on rewatching season 2 is I cannot wait to see Giorgio again.
I know. Oh, she's so great.
I miss her is what I got out of watching season 2.
100%. Yeah, I forgot how good she was.
Also, possibly controversial take. Pike has better hair in season 2 of Discovery than he does in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
He's got thoughts.
No, I was just because when I was watching. I think he looks better grayer, honestly.
Oh, I agree on that. I think the poofiness
The
has
bouffant
gotten
is not
too much on Strange New Worlds.
Well, I think that might be a bit of an inside joke at this point.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice it at the time, but in this rewatch that I was doing, he grays over the course of the season. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think
and
they
I
were
just-
realizing it's. Oh, sorry. It's a thing. I think they were like they're just playing. I think that's I think that's something that was happening obviously in the makeup chair, so to speak. And they're like they do that with actors all the time. I mean, just look at hair is a thing. But yeah, I think they kept playing with it, and they're like he looks better with the more silver fox look, and I think they were figuring that out.
Plus, it makes sense in the story too. Like, after that time crystal experience, who wouldn't get grayer hair? You know,
Just a few.
This is true, but I mean, gray hair is in too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a thing, and it's been a couple
It
of years
is?
to get it, but
Well, aging boomers and okay.
Silver, still going
Gen X.
silver, and I mean, there's still some coloring being done in there, but these silver haircut styles with, a little bit of like, real cut, like, non-traditional colors thrown in for effect, and people are doing some weird stuff. So, but it looks good.
I would kill for gray hair or just hair.
I always was like, I need a little bit of gray in my hair because it's authority in a classroom, but
Yeah, I've
Starting
got
to get
plenty
there.
of that. I got plenty of the distinguished. Oh, you look so distinguished. I'm like, somebody told me at work a couple of months ago that I look seasoned. I'm like, oh, you are treading on thin ice,
it's a
people.
horrible thing, said a man.
I know.
I
I
have
understood why that was so horrible, but okay.
I have
Yeah.
a couple gray hairs in my beard, none in what's left on the top of my head.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
You just
Some-
want to
you
grow
know
out
what?
of it to know.
I mean, but there isn't enough of it to do that without it looking terrible.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm not saying you should. Just,
but let's just say Pike makes it look good.
He does. And did you ever watch?
Like makes anything look good.
Well, yeah. Hell on Wheels.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've never watched it. I kind of want to watch it because I've seen photos and stuff of him, and he looks damn sexy in that show.
Yeah.
So
he's sexier in Star Trek, honestly.
I think you know what. It depends
I got a
on
little
whether you
thing for
like
long hair, though. I like long hair.
It's that those are the grunge rock, which I know you included in that fad, but it's that like whole that generation of grunge rock.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm long hair, whatever, but like, I prefer the clean look in Discovery and Star Trek. And plus, to me, Starfleet uniform instantly makes anyone sexier.
Well, Hell on Wheels is worth the watch. The last
It is.
like season or so,
Absolutely.
it gets weird. You just kind of go, no, well, this doesn't make any sense. But man, those first few seasons, so good, so good.
And Colm Meaney is great in it too.
Oh, he is. I forgot. That's right. He's in it. Yeah. Anyway. So we go from Civil War soldier former soldier to starship captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll bring it back around.
But yeah, bring it back. So Brother, episode 1, I guess, of Disco season 2. Yeah, I was here. I was very happy to have the Enterprise show up at the end of season 1. That was our cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
And then Pike coming in there. I mean, he didn't need to quite be he's a little harsh when he kind of takes command and whatnot. But otherwise, we get that evolution in that first episode of him and Burnham kind of checking him a little bit. And yeah, you just instantly liked him. And I think that was pretty cool.
I love how like defining traits of his character are like all that is like decent and wholesome and yeah.
You're the best of us.
Yeah, like Cornwell says, the best that Starfleet has. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
A very sharp contrast to Gabriel Lorca.
Yes, and and I guess And I guess that's like the bigger tone of, if you talk about episode 1 in the beginning of season 2, there was a little bit of a course correction for Discovery, right? They got a lot of season 1, they had their production issues, and I know they had some things in the back end with some producers that got fired halfway through the season because of some toxic stuff. And,
I thought that happened in season 2.
I think it was season 1 because that's why season 1's kind of uneven, or maybe it is season 2.
No, it was because it was no, it was the two. That was the what was it, Harbers and Berg? Yeah. They were fired partway through season 2.
Oh,
well,
why
wasn't
did I think
there
it was season 1?
You're probably thinking of Brian Fuller left after a few episodes in season 1.
Right. So season 1, I think they just didn't, it was a little bit uneven. It was a little bit jarring. Don't get me wrong. I liked season 1. Your guys' recap that you did was really good on that. And it's a good, if you guys take, like you said, if you take out like the Klingon makeup and a few other little things, it's fine. It's great. Those are big distractions. And that's kind of why we got into that disco controversy from day 1. But there was this big push for season 2 to make it look a little bit more TOS. And, we get that immediately with Pike showing up and, the outfit changes or the introduction of, the traditional gold, blue, red. Yeah. Get the new uniforms and a little bit more. It looks a little more Starfleet-y. They toned down the Klingons a little bit. There was a few things done. Gave them hair. Exactly. So it definitely starts. It gets the show gets more colorful. I noticed the palette changes a little bit, and in
a literal sense.
So you get, so we get this. It softened a little bit, and I think that's why for me, this is a very strong season because it was the right amount of adjustment. I guess I like the adjustment.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it always takes a while for stories to find their footing, and
right.
This is no different.
Look at TNG or any of the other Star Trek shows. They weren't so great in the beginning. They're still good, but it took them to like season 3 to get their act together.
Except TOS.
Doing it the other way.
But that's that's the original. It had all the important stuff at the beginning.
There are some great episodes in season 3 of TOS.
Oh,
there are also some not great. No, I was talking to Christos. There are also some not great episodes.
But that was also a function of massive budget cuts and things like that.
Yes,
that there's reasons. There's reasons the quality tanked in some areas.
Yes. Publisher.
Yeah, and I think Lower Decks. Lower Decks has improved as it goes, but I think even season 1 was very strong for Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a different medium, so that.
Yeah, and it's a different animal too because they were creating new characters and a new setting, but within the universe that was very, very well fleshed out. So, there's not that time of figuring it out.
Following along your little outline here, and there's like some really nice things that we get right out the gate, like Jet Reno. I was going to comment.
Oh yeah,
highlight.
I love her.
That's a
Tig Notaro is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I listened to the audio commentary for Brother with Alex Kurtzman and Sinead Martin Green, and Alex Kurtzman mentioned that he and Tig Notaro actually used to work together. They were both like in the early days in the when they were both starting out in the industry. They were both very low on the totem pole people working and so he had known her for years. So that's why he had immediately knew he wanted to bring her in, which I thought was really cool.
Good. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I guess we'll call that a low-key season 5 hope is more utilization of Jet Reno because season 3 and 4 were a little shaky. Yeah.
So for season 4, I know specifically, she said in an interview that she was asked to be in it more, but she wasn't able to make the quarantine work for filming it because that was during COVID, and they had to. The rules were you had to quarantine for a month before you could then work in Canada. So that made things trickier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully season 5 they had loosened those restrictions so it won't be as much of an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it's my favorite moment in the episode, but it certainly is a beautiful moment in the episode when Science Officer Connolly dies of misogyny.
Mm-hmm. I call him Lieutenant Mansplain.
Yeah. Ah, yeah, good name.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you a little misogyny. I thought, I'll he was hot, so I mean, I'll
that's okay. Yeah.
I'll sexualize him, and in a way, and turn the corner, around on that. There's a really great book though called The Enterprise War.
Oh yeah, John Jackson Miller.
So good, yes.
I love that novel, and you do get a lot more. Mm-hmm. You like him a lot better after you listen to that book, So
yeah. I did,
but I was going to say, but he is a dick in that episode.
Mm-hmm. And it bugs me.
I want to know what he was even trying to imply when he's like, my roommate was a Cation, and I told, what is that supposed to mean?
Yes, because he says, I'm going to tell you what I told her, which is to sit back and explosion. And I'm like, was he about to admit that he raped his roommate?
I didn't go that far.
I mean,
I was just is he trying to bring up some sort of Cation stereotype that we don't know? I
didn't even go there. And actually he doesn't give a gender for the roommates. I get that doesn't matter in terms of what I was thinking it, but oh no.
Yeah.
Or does he say her?
He does say her, I think.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So never mind that.
Yeah. Or some Star Trek writer was just trying to make a deep reference.
That's probably what
that's all it probably really was, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw a little Easter egg in there.
I can see where you were going with that, Chrissy, but I don't think that's what they intended.
No, I don't think that's what they intended, but it didn't occur to me until this rewatch, and I was like, oh, wait. Because I don't think I ever listened to that line that closely.
Yeah, but they need to make him unlikable so that you didn't mind him getting killed, so.
My one, kind of gripe with this episode is that it seems unrealistic for Jet Reno to have been there for months with these critical case patients and they're all still alive.
Well, we don't know how many she started with.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because these patients were all too injured to move. And yet they've survived all this time without an actual doctor. Just stabilizing them just seemed a bit far-fetched.
How many did we end up with at the end, though? I mean, was there even 5? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's true. And we don't know how many there were to begin with. But
yeah. But I don't disagree. It is a bit off kilter.
I mean, it is just engineering. It's just biological engineering. I mean,
and I know how to read.
Yeah.
Or and I read, however she was like. Yeah.
Will Star Trek explain it away?
Mm-hmm. One thing that's bugged me since forever, and I can't remember if we've ever gotten an answer to this. We get the voiceover, Sarek telling Amanda that taking in Michael is their responsibility. Why?
I don't know.
Why them? Okay, good, because I was worried that I had forgotten something along the line, and then I couldn't watch, a few episodes in the middle because I ran out of time, and I'm like, it probably gets explained somewhere. I'm not seeing it, but
not that I recall.
It doesn't make sense why there's no connection between the families. Yeah. It's just like,
yeah, if I don't know, they had been working with Sarek on some sort of project or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or even if it was they were there and he happened to be involved in the rescue of the people, you know. Doesn't make sense.
I think it just kind of lends into this bigger story that you see throughout Discovery. It's a little bit of the problematic part why some people have some pushback on Discovery, and it's just Michael Burnham is a god, or I referred to her kind of jokingly as Jesus, because everything dependent on the universe it's all Michael Burnham. I mean, she's literally the causes the whole war. Now we have the Red Angel thing. All of life in the world is dependent on Michael Burnham and her mother. And then go on to season 3 and 4, and there are other it's this. She's literally a god. I mean, literally. So, and that kind of also lends into her story with Spock and with Sarek and Amanda. It's everything is just foretold, and it all happens for a reason. Anyways.
No, I'm thinking of I'm trying to put that together with my Christian mythology. I'm gonna have to ponder on that. With the idea of the child that is simply given. Yeah, okay. Anyway, but I'm glad I didn't forget something that was that important.
But I loved Brother. It's a great episode.
It is.
And it leads into an episode that I not only love, I adore. That New Eden is possibly my favorite episode of modern Star Trek. I really enjoy this episode. And it's directed by Jonathan Frakes, which already puts it on a higher level. Just because almost any episode that Frakes directs, it's going to be a fantastic episode.
Except for Project Daedalus.
Okay, so I actually liked Project Daedalus a lot more this time than I did in the past. I still think that we should have built up the relationship between Arium and the crew more than just that episode. But
that's not
Frakes' fault. That's not Frakes' fault. He didn't write it.
Right.
And there's some cool directed scenes, like the fight scenes on the station. They're cool. But anyway, we'll get to that.
I tease you. Yeah.
I also will not, I mean, Frakes also did direct Sub Rosa, but, again, he didn't write it.
Forgot about that.
I love the look on Christos' face. I love that you just had that right there. Not that you own it. Like that, I believe, absolutely. For listeners, Christos held up a script to Sub Rosa.
Yeah.
The fact that you own it is not surprising to me. The fact that it was right there
Within
for you to hold up
reach.
to the camera.
Yeah. I have this little desk drawer here, and it's like fun stuff. I
choose to believe you have Sub Rosa on you at all times.
No, I got to buy 2 strips at the last FTLV. One was Sub Rosa, and the other one was Genesis.
I love Genesis.
And I put them both in front of Gates McFadden and asked her to autograph one, but it was her pick. And she's like, well, Sub Rosa, we all get it. It's a campy legend, but she was very proud of her work on Genesis.
And she should.
Yeah.
Genesis is an excellent episode of Star Trek. It's one, a lot of times if I just want to throw on Star Trek, that's one I'll go to frequently. Because I love it.
So Frakes is awesome director. We know.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted.
And if you and if you do, listeners, if you do have the Blu-ray set, there's a commentary track for New Eden with Frakes and Anson Mount, which is wonderful.
Oh,
I mean, I can't imagine why anyone would object to hearing Frakes and Anson Mount talk for an hour. That sounds,
Read the phone book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's a phone book?
But yeah, New Eden. I love New Eden. I love the central story that New Eden tells us that religion is what you make of it, and that it's not, and that they can all exist together and not. Like the very Star Trek idea of living in harmony, and the religions don't contradict, and they can all be together, and they are, and whether they do or do not actually mean anything doesn't matter if they mean something to you. And I love that story, that idea.
Yeah.
My only complaint with New Eden is that I have complaints about the Prime Directive time and time again in Star Trek throughout, and I don't think it actually applies in this case.
It doesn't.
Because these people are not naturally on this planet.
No.
So their natural societal evolution has already been interfered with.
Yeah.
There's other reasons maybe not to tell them about everything, but it didn't need to be that.
Yeah.
He could have said, well, the Prime Directive doesn't apply, but we also don't want to destroy their culture and cause people to go crazy about things.
Right.
That easy.
Yeah.
But Prime Directive is a little, it's a nice little shorthand for we can't tell them things.
Yeah. But saying that these people were abducted 10 years before humans discovered warp drive is not a reason to... Yeah.
I mean, it does have some callbacks to Who Watches the Watchers and how they have to explain some things because they got themselves in a little too deep. And like, okay, if we don't level set, we're going to do more damage. So,
also similar to the season 7, is it Homeward, the one with Worf's brother?
Yeah.
yes,
Homeward.
and the holodeck.
Mm-hmm. I'd forgotten about
Not
that
my
one.
favorite episode. Not my favorite episode.
No.
It's kind of okay.
Season 7 really went back to we're going to bring in a family member we've never mentioned, a few too many times.
Mm-hmm. It worked
because
with,
Disco...
yeah.
I mean, it's like a Michael Burnham. Like, how many years did we have Spock and we didn't know about Michael Burnham? So we built a whole series around mentioning a family member that we've never heard of.
Yeah. But at least Spock canonically doesn't mention his family members. So
Yeah.
That's true. We never hear about anybody other than Sarek and Amanda, and then his cousin that was actually himself, and his brother later.
And he never tells anyone about Sarek and Amanda until they show up on the ship.
Right.
And then the same with Cybok. Like, yeah.
Don't you want to go visit your parents? The ambassador and his wife are my parents.
I also just remember memes that went around when Discovery first came out. It was shots from TOS. It was Kirk and Spock sitting at in the briefing room, and Kirk says, "Spock, why didn't you ever tell me you have a sister? What's her name? Can I meet her? Is she single?"
Yes. Yes. That's a good reason.
Oh, good Lord. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Anyway, so those are my big thoughts about New Eden. What do other people think?
This is where we get May, which is fun. You know, in a way, I say fun, but again, going back to the novels, if you read that Tilly biographical story, the name of which I can't remember right now, we get all of that story.
Also by Una McCormick.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that called? Was it The Way to the Stars?
Way to the Stars, yep.
That was a really good one.
But, watching it again and knowing that she's not actually there, but then you watch the way she was framed in the episodes, and you're like, oh, it just looks like she kind of walks away when they're in sickbay, and it's not that they don't acknowledge her, but in the context of it, they wouldn't necessarily have acknowledged her. So it's so beautifully done.
Yeah. When the May thing first started, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but you know what? I was kind of glad that, I know it goes into another episode or so, but I do like that, she almost gets kicked, she gets in trouble for May, basically, almost to the point of being removed.
She doesn't.
But it gets resolved kind of fast. It's not one of these season-long things, you know what I mean? And that's... So because some of the things like that where people, I'm losing my mind and, I mouthed off to the captain or whatever, some of that stuff just, it's cringy. I don't like watching it. And when they do storylines like that, but the fact that it didn't go on for more than an episode and a half until we get to a real reason why something's happening, then you're like, okay. And she's proven not to be, obviously insubordinate or anything. It's actually that they figure out something sciencey is going on.
Yeah, I love that it turned out to be like that it turned out to actually be an organism like that. That was a great revelation there.
Yeah, yeah. Is this where we get the power of math, folks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Amy
scene.
Nelson's
That's the
favorite
power
line.
of math,
Yes.
people. Yes. Moments like that, which is what make Discovery great for me. I remember getting a big smile on my face when that scene happened.
This is
I remember that was in the trailer for season 2.
Yeah.
That's right. Because it's awesome.
That was something I definitely noticed in watching it. There were a few moments I'm like, oh yeah, this was in the trailer, because like it was taking me back to 2018 when I probably watched that trailer like 30 times.
Gods, yeah. When is this going to be out? Gotta know what happens.
Back when it was the only Star Trek.
Still, yeah. That was the difference between seasons 1 and 2, right? That was pre-Picard. And
Yeah, and I definitely think about this when watching, because I'm like, I remember, like, as it's like, oh yeah, I remember when like all of Twitter was obsessing about this and that, but also these were also the only seasons that dropped at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Our Eastern time. 5:30 your time. But like these were the only episodes that dropped at a time when most people could watch them. So I remember Twitter used to be just tons of people live tweeting these episodes. And after season 2, that didn't happen because they get dropped in the middle of the night now.
Yeah.
For us, they're like towards the beginning of the night for you, I guess.
Yeah, 5:30 is great because it's an after work thing. You guys have to, I can actually. In fact, I remember very well. Well, I remember during season 1 and season 2, especially having. I used to have big parties at my house. They were Star Trek watch parties, and
great,
nice.
And like, I remember having at one point there was one episode there were like 15 gay guys in the living room watching Star Trek. We took the coffee table out of the living room just so everyone, because people were putting pillows on the floor because that's how many people we had. But the big nerd fest that I actually credit these early episodes of Discovery to how I really got close with my best friend, because we had been friends, but when Star Trek came back and we started hanging out once a week, that's when we started really getting closer. And that's cool.
I think the early episodes of Discovery are why I'm here right now. I wasn't really involved in the online fandom until all that time on Twitter when everybody was talking about Discovery. Like I met, like that's how I met, and most of the people that like are now some of my best friends. Like there's all this entire like community. Discovery is what brought a lot of us together.
I remember that disco is where, if anything, good, bad, or indifferent about disco, and I know the three of us love it, it is what reignited Star Trek, really, because, the Abrams movies, they were up and down. There's some good points there.
I love
the
Beyond.
One that was, exactly. I was just about to say the one that was the best is the one that did the worst.
Yeah.
Usually how that works.
Well, you had to come back from the damage of, what's the middle one called?
Into Darkness.
Into Darkness. Yeah, that one, they really kind of hurt themselves with that one. Anyways, we're as per usual, we are completely off topic. I love it. Nerd talk.
Well, we also find out in this episode what happened to Spock. That he checked himself into a psych unit, and beyond that, we don't know why or anything. Other than it's nightmares.
Michael is allowed to go read his personal logs, because, that's not a violation of anything.
I had that scribbled down. Once again, Starfleet has no concept of privacy. There's no privacy in sick bay. There's no privacy in quarters.
Thought about that. At the end of this season, Spock records a personal log where he talks about Michael, and I'm like, based on the track record before, someone else could listen to this.
But doesn't this come up again, folks, in Strange New Worlds ad Astra per Spera, where La'an wants access to logs, and Uhura won't give it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the correct answer.
Yes.
God, I am firing on all cylinders this morning if I'm tying multiple shows together.
Everybody got enough sleep.
It's one giant franchise or something.
It's awesome. So, and then Pike tells the one guy the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I like that scene. That was really good.
Yeah.
That was beautifully done.
Yeah.
Also, more evidence that Pike is, the paragon of Starfleet is the scene where he jumps on the phaser to save the little girl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know, and I did it too, there were complaints about it's not necessary, we have plot armor situations, but it still was a good moment.
Yeah.
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 I think the plot armor scenes are far worse in Strange New Worlds than they are in this season.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that cliffhanger at the end of season 2 of Strange New Worlds. Like, half those people that disappeared, we know have to survive.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike the end of this season, just to jump ahead, when I was absolutely sure that it was going to be Una who was the one who disabled the bomb and didn't get out of the room, because she didn't have plot armor.
Yeah,
We had never seen her after that. So at the time,
I have all
sure.
sorts of thoughts about that scene that we'll get to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not the least of which is a lever on the other side of the door. Yeah.
Or the
Transporter.
non-sentient repair robots that we had already seen in an earlier episode.
Earlier in that episode.
Yeah, earlier. Yeah, I just watched that. They actually send them out as a preemptively in that episode.
Anyway.
Also, what is that hatch made out of, and why isn't the hull made out of that?
That's like, why don't they make that entire plane out of the same stuff as the black box?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the reason for that is because the plane would be too heavy. That one actually makes sense.
Yes. I know there's an actual answer to that, but.
So, shall we move on to Point of Light?
Yes. So, Amanda is, I love this Amanda and Sarek, and she is always at her best when she is abusing her husband's diplomatic authority. I just love it. She takes his ship, she gets on board, she's like, I stole some medical records. Later on, we see she takes the ship, she gets on board and in Strange New Worlds and is like, well, they were in orbit of Vulcan at that point, but still.
Maybe she's Section 31.
I love the part in later in Light and Shadows when she says, and I don't have to turn him over. I have diplomatic
immunity.
And then Sarah just walks in, it's like, unless the ambassador objects.
Yes.
It was so good.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Right.
Point of Light. We get the Klingons again. We get Klingons with hair.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a lot of talk and argument on the internet about the severed baby head at the time.
Oh yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. Now that you say that, I remember. But
Now I forgot all about it. But
I'd forgotten about that. The severed adult head is fine. It's the severed baby head. Okay,
but it's not a real baby head. Like,
no,
if it
it's
had
not.
literally been a real baby head, then yes. But like,
then that would have been like terrible. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
Even if they had really decapitated the baby in the story.
Oh god, I wasn't even thinking about it being a literal prop baby head, like that they killed an actual baby to make the show. Yes, that would be terrible.
No, I didn't mean literally. I meant in the storyline.
And at 1 hour and 13 minutes, we have jumped the shark, everybody.
Well, let me just jump the shark further, okay? Something that has always bothered me about this. And I know the reason is the story. Okay, I get that. But she had the embryo removed so it could gestate ex utero. Are you telling me that Klingons are anti-abortion? This doesn't make sense to me. I mean, really.
I don't know that they're anti-abortion. Maybe she still wanted to have the kid. She just didn't want to carry the kid. Yeah.
Right, because she wanted the connection to Vogue. And that makes sense within the story. But it's just like, she's like, I couldn't do this while I was pregnant, so...
I don't know one way or the other how Klingons feel about abortion. I don't think it's ever come up.
No, I don't think it has. But it does make sense that she'd want to keep the connection.
But what I do like about this part of the episode, this whole like other thing that's going on is when we're seeing what's going on in the Klingon homeworld and everything is like, it's kind of like a parallel to like a little bit of medieval stuff going on there and power struggles and sword fights and whatnot. But then I love when Giorgio just kind of comes out of nowhere. And it's very CIA, she's Section 31, which is like CIA, right? And she's going to come in because it's in the Federation's best interest for the Klingons to stay, in this balance of power. So we're manipulating politics within the Klingon Empire for the sake of the Federation. And that's what Giorgio's there to do. And I I loved how she just kind of reintroduces herself here in episode 3, and it's badass, and she's got like special tech going on, and it was it was a really good intro or re-intro.
Oh yeah.
My only like thing is I don't love that basically it's now a recurring theme that L'Rell is only in power because Starfleet put her there and is keeping her there. I don't necessarily love that.
Yeah. I see. I can see what you're saying there.
I would say she was given the opportunity to get into power because of that, but once there is remaining in power of her own means.
Except for when Giorgio has to come and save her.
Right, but she takes the opportunity and uses it in a way that only she could have.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I will give you, she was not doing well with holding on to power prior to that. Yeah, partly because of Ashfolk, okay? But the problem that they have with him would have made more sense if we had not had the explanation about why there were some Klingons that look like humans on Enterprise. Because there's absolutely no reason. I mean, I know there was a cultural prejudice against them, but it wasn't. I mean, they still had they were still on starships. They were still doing their thing. It was, he's one of the, what did they call them, the Rigilis or something like that.
Yeah, there's a word for it that they use in the novels, but I don't recall what it is.
Yeah, so that bothered me, and then of course when he's back on the ship at the end, I feel like that will have undermined her entire authority because she told everybody he was dead. She really must trust the people on that ship, and that's a really big ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, we don't know after that because we haven't seen
we don't know,
what politics are after that. Yeah.
It's true.
I would love, because L'Rell, we last see her in this season. It'd be really cool for Strange New Worlds to revisit her some way in...
I've been waiting for it. Yep.
Waiting for it.
Yeah. I mean, it could be happening right now. They are filming season 3, but it seems like a big, it's a big loose thread, like at least to give the character some, I don't know.
I'd love to see more L'Rell. I mean, I named my cat L'Rell, so I mean, I'm clearly a fan of the character.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was reminded of how much I like the character of Ash Tyler, and he's just out. And I know they announced cast for Section 31 movie, and he wasn't there, but
that doesn't mean he's not in it.
They didn't really. I'm sure there are some Star Trek Legacy people that are going to show up in 31, and they're just holding that back for later announcement.
I was really, I mean, not that I am in any way sad that they decided to make Strange New Worlds instead. Let's just say that right now. I love Strange New Worlds. It's one of my. It's probably a top 5 Star Trek series for me. But you can definitely feel in this season. You can feel that you can see how they were setting up Section 31. They were clearly Ash Tyler was going to be a huge part of it, and then it never happened.
Yeah, and it probably was meant that Giorgio, because we don't know where Giorgio's going back in time in season 3, but it probably was always. I mean, you have to figure we're going 900 years in the future. Mid-season, Giorgio's coming back, and she probably was supposed to come back to right when she left, pretty much, or where she belonged in that time. So
I figured it could have been like maybe a few years in the future, like things would be changed a little bit, but just. All of the stuff they do with Ash Tyler at the end there, it's clear that they're setting him up for the Section 31 show.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Section 31 show didn't happen. So now we're getting the movie, which is something different, and I hope he still shows up in it, but
I do still feel being a movie.
Yeah, I mean, yes. And given the choice of can we have a Section 31 show or can we have Strange New Worlds? I would pick Strange New Worlds every time. But I do also feel a little bad for the people that were working on that show that didn't happen. Like, it was going to be Bowie, Kim, and Erica LaPolt's show, and that now they're not even involved in Star Trek anymore. And
I think they pretty much had a season written, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we all kept chanting for a Pike show, which rightly so. And I do wonder if COVID hadn't happened, even with Strange New Worlds getting greenlit, if the Section 31 show would have also happened, because they wouldn't have, stopped production for so long.
Yeah,
I wonder if
easy.
we still would have gotten both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly proven we can have multiple series going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, they proved that in the 90s, so,
Yeah.
Meow.
It is kind of cool. I think this is the first time we go back to, or get Borith, right? And
Yes.
that's a callback to TNG, right?
Yep. Rightful
Right.
Heir? Is that the title?
Oh.
The one with
Yeah.
Kahless.
When Kahless comes
Well,
back, yep, Worf goes.
Is it
But
Rightful Heir?
Yeah.
That's where Worf is.
Yeah.
Worf is
Yeah,
there
actually-
in the beginning of that episode.
I made a note about that because this is, adds the context to later events.
Oh, yeah, I see your note that I
Yeah.
could have read the outline, but I didn't.
No, that's okay. See, this way I get it as a surprise. So it occurred to me on this watch that the Boroth monks said that they got Kahless DNA from, like a batleth or a piece of cloth or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They could have used the time crystals and just, gone back in time to the real Kahless and
Yeah.
poked him with a syringe and then gone back. I love that little bit of potentiality that we now have for that story.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, that's really deep universe building there. So, I mean, it's like one of those, if you don't know, you don't know, but if you do know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
The inside bit doesn't hurt
Yeah.
the story for those who haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
adds
Yeah.
to it for those who have.
So this kind of continues on the story that you kind of get at the last part of the final episode, and I'll bring it up because it does shine a light on everything that happens in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything that happens in
A
season
point
2.
of light?
Yeah, it was something that Burnham put into, by doing a Red Angel visit, puts into motion to put the right series of events for everything to come together for Discovery to be able to get to the future. And everything has to happen, including going to Borith to get the crystal, so that everything is put in motion. So that's pretty. So kind of knowing, it's kind of something I kind of forgot, but after just rewatching it, it's like, oh yeah, if you look back at the season that way, everything happened intentionally, and that's pretty cool.
Because of
Preordained.
Burnham Jesus.
Burnham Jesus. It's a thing. Maybe you should name this episode of Infinite Diversity should be called Burnham Jesus. And
If we did the funny
If we were
names,
Trek
that would
FM,
be-
sure.
Yeah.
oh boy. Cool.
And we've got an obol for Sharon.
Karen.
Okay, you're right. I have always read it as Sharon or Sharon, but you're right, Karen.
Careholm, yeah. Sorry, the ancient history pedant in me has to come out.
To be fair, we don't know how they pronounced it back then.
To be fair, all right. But generally, the understanding is that
Okay.
it's not like Latin became Church Latin and softened all the seas, Yeah.
Okay.
Christos is like, I have Greek ancestry. Let me tell you about it.
I have Zeus's DNA in me. Let me tell you about it. The Greeks. We did everything,
Well, Zeus certainly liked to spread his DNA.
His DNA around.
My people were contemplating mathematics and philosophy while yours were banging rocks. Sorry.
My people conquered your people, but that's fine.
Oh.
But then again, my people also took the entirety of your culture and just gave it a new name.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
Well, Chrissy, your people overextended themselves trying to conquer my people, so,
My people had their best days militarily about 2,000 years ago. And then gave a very poor showing in the two most recent large wars that we've had as humanity.
Ooh.
That's true.
So this is This is the Sphere episode.
Yeah.
Yes, an oboe for Karen. An oboe for Charon? Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I just don't want it to sound like Karen, because then it sounds like...
That's exactly where my mind went.
Money for the boat guy.
So the Sphere is a big Karen. Okay, we got it. And kind of is.
Not too far off, yeah.
He's causing all kind of problems.
I love Saru and his salty tea in this.
Yes.
He
I remember
goes through
making-
one shaker of salt and wants more.
Yeah. And that's a callback. That's a callback to season 1. We see him putting salt in his tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Linus saying, I had a cold last week and it sucked.
I want to see more Linus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's good.
But this episode, it's kind of a, if you just look at it, it's more of a, like, I call it, like, it's a bottle episode in a sense. It obviously is super important. I mean, the Sphere data is like the whole crux of everything. And Discovery is still dealing with the Sphere data, obviously. But it just kind of compartmentalizes that the point of this episode is getting that Sphere data into Discovery. It's really start to finish. That's what this episode's here to do, and get us there. But so I kind of like it from that kind of. It's more of a compartmentalizes a story there. And then of course we got May and Tilly, kind of the other story going on at the same time.
Yeah. And then of course the wonderful Bahari.
Oh yeah, I forgot that is in this episode. Oh yeah, I remember crying like a baby at the end when those scenes were going down. Yeah,
So good.
Also, Saru works out. Like, when his shirt's off, like, god damn.
All they have to say is, I can't remember what went down, but if the makeup and props people did not get, they're literally creating a full alien body that poor Doug Jones probably had to put on as some sort of a shirt, and then do those killer acting scenes toward the end.
I mean, that's literally Doug Jones' specialty. So yeah.
But still,
He has an Oscar for it, so.
Yeah. And he should have gotten an Emmy for this one, but that's true of a lot of people in a lot of treks, so.
But, then we, of course, get these like everything's always like transformative here on Discovery. Literally Saru's basically finding out his entire transformed and basically find out his whole people have been lied to for all these years, and this kind of symbiotic relationship between the Ba'ul and the Kelpians is what it is. And obviously this part is the part that I think sets up, I believe, the Sound of Thunder is what happens to Saru in this episode. So I just let you know, like I said, it is in a sense a bottle episode, but obviously there are deep implications for the story.
Yes, and so good. I love the part with all the different languages.
Oh, yeah.
There was a setup for this, which I never would have known before because I had never binged the season. But it was either in the last episode or the one before, Saru makes an offhand remark about learning 90-some languages. And then it pays off in this episode.
Yes. Yeah. That, I forgot about that, but it's very important. Didn't anybody learn anything other than English or standard English?
Language? Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like how we just get a little bit of context of how the Universal Translator works and how important it is. Because every time we watch Star Trek, we just see people speaking, English on the bridge. And you have to, suspend disbelief to know there are people speaking other languages and it's being translated.
That's something I've enjoyed with Discovery, because they've done it a couple times now. They show when they're not on the ship, they have to open up their communicator for the translator to work. And I like that.
Yeah.
That was one thing they did, and actually I think that was in Beyond, that they showed how the translator worked, and there was that delay where you got the computer voice. And I get why they don't regularly do that, because that would take you out of it, but at the same time, you can kind of think of it that way.
Yeah, we see Burnham do that on the Klingon ship in season 1. We see it again in the Sound of Thunder with Kaminar. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, love technology like that.
Now, and then the next one is like my least favorite episode of the season.
Saints of Imperfection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call that out. It's like, oh, suddenly Culber's alive again. Oh, good lord! This is the Stranger Things episode of the season. I like to call it.
Yes.
Yes, very much. They're going to the Upside Down.
It does,
Yes.
and it looks the same. And then I meant to look up when Stranger Things started versus when this aired. And I
It had
forgot to
already
do
come
that.
out.
And okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for anticipating my question there.
Yeah, Stranger Things season 1 predates Discovery entirely.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Well, there you
So
go.
we can say that this was a ripoff of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So, the first time I saw this episode, back when it first aired, I was positive what was going to happen in this episode was they were going to discover that Discovery using the spore drive was hurting the mycelial network, and that's why we never use the spore drive again.
Yep. Yep.
But I think it does kind of work that it was Culber, but, also some weird magic that doesn't really work.
Well, I mean, that's like a transporter's weird magic that doesn't really
Sure.
work, technically speaking. Heisenberg compensators and all, but
Yeah, I guess, this just goes back to that trope of killing people, bringing him back. I just, they didn't need to kill Culber to begin with. And that was all problematic in itself. And then, of course, we now have to, and I think that, I don't know, the story changes. The intent always was to bring him back, or
I don't
they
know
figured,
about that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was gonna
or-
ask you guys
I think they got a lot of flack for it, so they decided to bring him back.
Oh yeah,
I do too.
we love to introduce happy gay characters so that we can kill them, and have that be an allegory for other things. And so yes, they bring him back, and I just, like I said, the whole thing is just, I don't know.
I'm glad he is back because
Right.
I love Dr. Culber and I love some of the things he does in the later seasons. So I'm glad he's back. But yeah, this is sort of a contrived way for them to. It's again them sort of course correcting and resetting a mistake they made last season.
Right. And, that being said, it's just like this whole episode just serves to kind of bring him back, right? And I don't know. It's like I said, it's not my favorite episode, but
Also-
it definitely serves a
sorry.
purpose.
I will make an entirely different kind of complaint now, but a very me complaint. There is one shot where, for whatever reason, Mary Wiseman was facing, I guess, the wrong direction for what they wanted, so they mirrored the image.
Or comm badges on the wrong side.
Her combat, so here's the thing that's ridiculous. Her comm badge is on the wrong side, but they did digitally flip the comm badge, so the comm badge isn't backwards, but it's still on the wrong side. And I'm just like, how hard would it have been to just move it?
Yeah.
If you're
If you're
already
already
going to change
manipulating.
the image.
The people who work on modern Trek love Trek, but I don't think most of them are as attentive to that type of thing as we would like them to be.
See also every single person except Pike's rank insignia on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. So, it gives us podcasters stuff to talk about because, we need that in addition
Exactly.
to other stuff.
Yeah, I have another costume complaint later, but we'll get to that in a bit.
I no doubt.
So Culber's back. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Mushroom Culber.
Mushroom Culber.
Mushroom Culber. Right. And this is also where we get Control introduced.
Yes.
Yes.
Produced a whole, discussion of is this going to be like in the novels and all of that. And
They clearly got the idea from the novel, but
yeah, and then they just
and
destroyed
David
it.
Mack has said as much, because he actually
yeah.
was working somewhat behind the scenes on Star Trek at this time. So yeah, but they changed it very radically.
Yeah, and took its purpose out completely, but that's fine.
So what's next? Oh, the Kelpian episode, as we like to call it. Let's go to. Like I said, we just kind of this season kind of has these as it is one big story. Like I said, there are all these little mini stories that when you piece them together, make it all make sense. Especially the last episode really ties it all together. But now we have now we have the Kaminar episode or and we get to go revisit. And this makes that short trek that we had, the short, which actually gets some of those scenes from that short trek do get like reshown in this episode because they're kind of vital to the story.
And they actually include that short trek on the Blu-ray for season 2 because of that as well. They include this one and also the one with Poe.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of what are the highlights of this episode. Obviously, besides, it's kind of funny when you go back and you see like Sarana and whatnot, and like I said, Burnham did this so that the Kelpians would be there to help in the final battle. Like I love when when it cohesively comes together at the end that is why we're here, and obviously, justice for Saru's people. They needed to get them,
Yeah. So I think this episode suffers from the short season, serialized season phenomenon. Because I think we really could have done with some more exploration of exactly what happens once the balance of power is flipped on Kaminar, and we don't actually see any of that.
Well, you do 900 years later in seasons 3 or 4, and you find out that and it's cool that they do revisit things there in the 31st or 32nd century, wherever the hell we are. But, you're right. This could have been a two-parter.
I liked the twist where we find out that the reason the Ba'u have been subjugating the Kelpians is because the post-Verhare Kelpians almost killed them many years ago. I liked that we find out that it's not just that the Ba'u are evil. They do have reasoning, even if it's not necessarily good reasoning.
Yeah.
Remember when we all thought it was Armis?
Yes.
Still could be.
Could be. Yeah. That would have been a throwback. That could have been. Like, if we got the found out where Armis came from, that would have been pretty cool. Justice for Tasha.
Yeah.
No, Justice was a different season 1 episode.
Very good.
That is also true.
Nerds.
That's the bouncy people running episode.
I do like, we see Saru. I guess if we can talk a little seriously about this, Saru really he sheds his fear, and that's like the whole big thing is
so good.
That's what happens after that, right? And he gets his little spike thingies, and which come in handy later on, and so and then we even see Saru kind of get a little insubordinate with Pike, but and this is where Pike gets a lot of credit too for instead of just like being an ass and slamming him down, which he could have. He gives him some leeway and understands that this guy's going through some stuff, and literally his people was going through a life-changing event. But it is kind of interesting how like even Saru really has to push himself onto that away team. And
I understand why Pike doesn't want him.
I feel that this is that Saru, the way Saru is behaving, yes, he's adjusting to basically a new him. But I feel that it is also a callback to season 1 with Civis Pacem Parabellum, or however you pronounce the Latin.
You did it. Civis Pacem Parabellum. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it I feel like it's a decent callback to that, because in that episode the Pavins remove his fear, and yes, he is very different, and I think that ties into that a little bit.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that, but we do see him without that background anxiety.
So the Kelpians evolve and eventually become more, allies with the Ba'ul, and that is, and Sarana learns to fly, and in the background between this episode and the final episode, and that is kind of the point of this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the point of this episode is, to set up the Kelpians at the end, and also to give us the new Saru. The new Ru.
Yes. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
The
Sanu. Getting,
Sanuru.
Yeah. New and improved.
Yeah.
Sanuru.
Yes.
Latent Shadows.
Yeah, Latent Shadows.
Latent
Now we know that they're from the future.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Angels from the future. And Spock's shuttle is found in the Mutara sector because apparently that's the most important place for him in his life and death.
Mutara restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Take permits.
That was
many.
after.
Many permits. That's kind of funny. I love it. It has to be that same Mutara section, but
I would imagine.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an unnecessary little
rock in
bit,
space,
but it works, you know.
Yeah, a little throwback. It's like, you know, like the Metalis planet or whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to. This
was
is
anybody
one of
else
the episodes I did not rewatch, so I'm trying to like what happened in this episode.
So this is the one where Michael goes to Vulcan, and we find out that Amanda has been hiding Spock.
And
yeah, it is
also
raining.
And also they live near a lake. Later we find Sarek was meditating next to a lake. Because apparently Vulcan is only partially a desert planet when they feel like it.
Well, I mean,
I'm being a little bit...
Yeah, I've always had an issue with this whole, all these planets are one climate thing anyway,
that
so...
work. No. And it could be a monsoon season. Still could be desert rest of the time, so...
I think we see the lake in, at the end, in, not in this episode. I don't think we see the lake in this episode. We see the lake in Such Sweet Sorrow.
Such Sweet Sorrow, yeah. So Amanda, again, abusing her power that isn't hers. The line from earlier, you know, I have diplomatic immunity unless the ambassador objects. So...
It's kind of like Mrs. Peacock from Clue.
Yeah.
I'm a senator's wife. Get your hands off me.
I love that. I love that we retconned a learning disability into Spock because of how he is. Spock is a great intellectual in pop culture, even for people who are not Trekkies. There's this idea of him as an intellectual and the logic and all of that, and to have that come despite, or maybe as a result of having to overcome that. I really like that. I think that's important.
Yeah.
I wish they would have said dyslexia instead of giving it a Vulcan name, but that's fine.
Yeah. But then they eventually do say dyslexia, right? Because it then becomes and then finally it becomes like the reason why Spock was able to interpret the Red Angel stuff, because of it literally, had it not been for his disability, which became now a plus, for him,
strength,
strength, yeah. So that I like that part, where they, without this, none of this would have been able to happen. So. I feel like by this point, things are really moving fast now. I mean, this is kind of where we hit mid-season, and I'm like, oh yeah, then this happens, and then this happens, and the episodes really start to. And this is where it was like, we got to keep watching week to week because we're moving. The foundation had been laid.
I mean, I was always watching week to week regardless.
I know. I mean, we all were, right? But it was like the anticipation was there. It's a big story. It's not like you're watching these episodic type episodes. It's like now we're into a big story and we're trying to figure out. Everyone's trying to figure out this Red Angel business.
Yeah. And then we have the lovely time distortions, and Pike.
One thing I liked in this episode was the place where Amanda was hiding Spock is from the 2009 film.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I thought that was a nice little tie-in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I never made that connection. When you said it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Very cool.
That is very cool.
Oh, yeah, and then this is where Arium gets infected.
Right.
Oh, yes.
And then we head to Talos 4.
So, do you think it would have been better if we didn't see the build-up to Arium getting infected? Like, would Arium being infected have worked better if we, the viewer, didn't see her eyes flashing red so many times between now and when she... Yeah, I think so too.
Yes. because you're meant to think it's Vogue like they do, and it's not. So that's like, well, okay, now they're just being prejudiced against the former quasi Klingon. So you understand why, but.
Yeah, and then with Ariam, I mean, the one thing is like Ariam, all the foreshadowing starts to happen now. Ariam gets infected, and eventually we see the flashback of her being happily married, and of course that just sets up her death, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, everything's just kind of moving along fast here at this point, because you're right, we go on to Talos 4 in the next episode, and that even just starts off with a great little.
I remember just. The first time I saw that, and it comes up with previously on Star Trek, shows the old logo, and then you just see,
and the black and white, and then the back to the color, and when that came on, I jumped up, and I was like, oh my God!
Yeah.
And then I had to stop and rewind it and watch it again, and then it just fades
at the end,
right into
they cut
Mount.
from Jeffrey Hunter to Anson Mount. Love it.
Beautifully.
Well, wasn't it like the biggest FU to all the people who were saying that this isn't real Star Trek and this is a whole other universe, or it was a whole other, it was like, you can't really say that anymore. Oh, we're in the Kelvin timeline. Oh, whatever. Everything that was being said about Discovery, it doesn't count. So yeah, that was a really good
all the
way
stuff
to be
the
like,
racists
okay.
were saying.
Oh, that conspiracy theory. There are still people that champion that all the new Star Trek is in the Kelvin timeline, and the one that's weird to the one that like that they keep tying it into knots. So like they'll explain, well, it's not the actual Kelvin timeline; it's in the Prime timeline, which is a word made up for the Kelvin movies. So it's different from our original timeline, and it's like no.
Except when we later see like. Or Captain Picard and Spock and Unification 3 and things like that. And, yeah, that's what. So, anyways, so we're on Talos 4.
Yes, we are, complete with the singing flowers.
That was so cool.
And that quarry in Toronto.
The same quarry in Toronto where they met the rebels in season 1.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And I also think that's where Tilly is there with the cadets in season 4 or whatever. Yeah. Yep. You get used a lot.
And Michael and Book rescue the space whale there in season 3.
So
isn't that where Michael just crash lands too?
Yeah.
The modern it is the modern what's it the rocks? Vasquez rocks.
Vasquez rocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, every time they use this quarry, it reminds me of classic Doctor Who, because Doctor Who used quarries in England so many times in so many of their episodes. Like, insert alien planet is this quarry. So it just makes me think of Doctor Who.
Love it. That's not a bad thing at all.
No.
Is this the episode where we get Spock and Michael to kind of start making up? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Start.
Well, it's the very end after everything is revealed about how she intentionally hurt him to try to push him away to protect him, and all of that.
Yeah, and I like how it was that the Talosians, like, because they can read minds, they already knew that, and that's why they were saying, in exchange for this, you need to share this memory. Yeah, I like that they were actually just there to help. I thought that was a nice little twist.
They did a very nice job with that, and bringing in Vina with Pike, and that's that's why it's okay that captain, whose name I can't remember, is going to die, that he was sleeping with on Strange New Worlds. What's her name? Yeah, because she's not his one true love.
We don't know she's going to die. We just are pretty sure she's going to die.
That's why it was in the storyline. It would be acceptable for her to die. Whether she does or not, we don't know yet. But yeah, it's just this. There were two things. First of all, one thing I loved about this is the place where we have the fight between Culber and Ashfolk.
Yes.
And
this is where New Saru was like, no, let them fight, which I can see his point, but also no.
No,
Maybe
yeah,
don't do that.
Well, like in a perfect world, somebody like Culber would be taken off the ship and
Yes.
put on sidelined and put on. Okay, you need to go on medical leave.
Yes.
Go deal with, not just like, oh, here's your uniform and get right back at it. I mean, maybe he's not in a uniform in this one, but he is
No,
kind
he's
of like,
Not, but he is.
he's
later.
on the he's on the ship and things are happening. Maybe it's okay. We can't have but no, they should have put him in a shuttle and sent him back to Earth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yeah. Well, this is,
But-
it's the same issue as,
If anyone deserves spending some R&R at the farm, it's Culber.
yeah.
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, even Spock got 3 months of reconditioning on Vulcan after he came back to life.
Yeah.
Picard didn't get anything, though. Picard got a fight in the mud with his brother.
He got to fight his brother in the mud. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just say your comment about if anybody deserves time at the farm, it's Culber. I've now decided that that's what somebody does because of what happened to. Well, I guess did they know what happened to Culber? I want to retcon. I was about to say Culber started the farm, but of course he went to the future. So I'm having a brain fart there.
Oh,
Never mind, take all this out.
You're in lower decks.
Right. I was like, well, we could say, you could retcon. Culber started the farm because of what happened to him, and then, but
Yeah.
I need another cup of coffee, I guess.
I mean, maybe Admiral Cornwell. Oh, wait.
And that's where I went. No, I've got it. Okay. Number 1 did that with the idea of having somewhere for Pike to be. There we go.
Okay.
And
that makes
also
sense.
knowing about Culber and, that's, yeah. Right. But the thing let them fight. Okay. This was after the most recent reboot of Godzilla. And there's that moment in the 2016 Godzilla where the doctor's like, we have to let them fight, because it was the Mutos and that's what it always makes me think of.
I love that movie.
Oh, so good. But Saru, okay. When Pike is saying, why did you do that? You shouldn't have let them do that. You need to be more by the book. The Starfleet manual offers no regulatory guidelines for interactions between humans with Klingons grafted to their bones and a ship's doctor returned from the dead. I love that.
Valid.
Snarky.
But also, yeah, I'm pretty sure
He's right.
certainly not following the spirit of the law or the letter of the law by allowing them to fight.
No.
It's not
But
conduct
he is-
becoming of an officer.
Exactly.
No, but he is respecting Ash Voke's cultural heritage.
No, you know what? So okay. I'm going to say this is just kind of like that good old boy stuff crap. Oh, you got to let them fight it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's like, this just needs to happen. I mean, it's like, but it's all right. It serves its purpose in the story, but.
So the other thing with this is that this made me think that Strange New Worlds needs to end with the menagerie. Okay, I've said, and I'm not the first person. I'm not the one who said it. I don't remember where I originally saw it, but the idea that Strange New Worlds ends with a picture of the new Kirk, Spock, and McCoy going into a turbo lift, and then pull a scene from the original series where they're coming out of the turbo lift onto the bridge. Okay, love that, but it needs to happen after the events of the menagerie or within.
Yeah.
The end. That's the end of it, and maybe from Pike's point of view, somewhat for the menagerie. That would be a really interesting way to do that. But yeah. So I'm putting that out in the world. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's thought that. But I always, I like to think about in Picard when we were saying, well, if Q ever shows up, he has to show up looking young, and then they'll snap his fingers and say, oh, I got to catch up. And that's exactly what they did.
And you manifested that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I personally manifested that, yes.
No, but it was the perfect thing that made it okay for everybody.
Yeah. And I think that's the kind of thing I'm going to try to, I'm putting this out in the world. I'm going to manifest that we see part of the menagerie from Pike's point of view.
Yeah. And I like that, that previously on Star Trek kind of already introduces us to multiple actors playing characters now. And that's okay. I mean.
I like that too. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, and we've already seen future Spock and Leonard Nimoy being shown on screen with younger Ethan Peck. So, I mean, it's there.
Oh, and Ethan Peck is so good.
Right.
Yes.
The next episode is Project Daedalus.
Arium dies.
Basically, right.
Yeah, so I hated this hated is a strong word. I was very annoyed with this episode when it first aired. And the reasons for that are still there. We get no Arium character development of any kind until this episode. And part of that is, again, the short seasons. But we would care a lot more about this character if we got something earlier in the season and not just this sudden dump of, oh, she's best friends with Tilly and in this episode.
This problem still goes on for Discovery, as we've seen full 4 seasons, and we barely know people like Detmer. You know what I mean? Yeah. And some of the other supporting casts that are just there, and they don't even get to be like, they're not even in posters, they're not in cast photos. They're it's like it's not how we're used to seeing our principal cast, and
I'm okay with that in and of itself. Because we haven't had an episode where we're supposed to care a lot about Detmer. Yeah.
But Strange New Worlds doesn't have this problem. I feel like almost everybody's getting used.
Yeah.
And so.
But it's a different kind of show for Strange New Worlds, I think.
Right. Yeah. That was intended
Strange New Worlds is not a show about one main character, whereas
Michael Burnham Jesus.
Discovery is, about Michael Burnham Jesus.
Burnham Christ. That's going to be my new swear.
Burnham Christ.
Burnham Christ. That's going to be my new swear.
BC. There we go. Oh, right. Okay. So I did not, for season 1 of Discovery, I was not podcasting at that point because I came on with The Line. And I couldn't remember if we podcasted season 2. And it wasn't until I got to Project Daedalus that I was like, oh, yeah, right. We did do this season because I remember Brandon could not stop talking about how he did not care about Arium and he didn't know why he was supposed to care about Arium, and that whole discussion.
He still brings it up in the group chat.
He still yes. And I don't blame him at all. And I don't disagree. I don't remember what I said at the time. I should have started this by saying, listeners, anything that I've talked about before with this, if you're going to come at me with 5 years ago, you said this about this, and now you said something different. I'm just
people's opinions change. It happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Well,
so that's okay.
So by this episode, I think the main things that we need to know is Section 31. Control is out of control, and it's manipulating things. That admirals have been killed and replaced, and Control has this whole little space station that headquarters. That and Arium dies. But we kind of realize that Control is the problem.
The fact that all those admirals were killed and replaced helps explain why we got a scene in a few episodes ago of all these admirals having a conversation.
Yeah.
That makes that fit.
One thing I like about the fact that all of these 4 admirals that were in charge of Section 31, they represented each of the 4 founding members of the Federation, and I think that's a neat little touch.
Yeah, that's cool. And I guess technically this is the episode in which Spock is exonerated, right? Right. So by finding
that's right, because we find out.
Yeah, so that's at that point, okay, at least they can we're no longer trying to hide Spock.
And I do have a costume point on this episode.
Yes.
Okay, so the environmental suits. If we go back to Brother, Pike had a gold one, Connolly had a blue one, Non had a bright red one, and Burnham had silver. That all made sense. It was their uniforms at the time. We flash forward to Project Daedalus. Non is still wearing a bright red one. I will wave that away and say maybe she has her own personal one she brought over from the Enterprise, so she's still using it even though it doesn't match the uniform she's wearing now. Arium is wearing a blue one. That makes no sense. Arium should be wearing a silver one like Michael, because she has never worked on a ship that used the blue uniform.
Well, props department built these back for brothers, and now we were reusing them. And
So she's
there
wearing
you go.
she fits into Connolly's uniform? How's that work?
I don't know.
Well, Connolly blew up his uniform, but
Yeah.
background,
Well, no, I meant
yes, she probably
background.
is.
Is she? They re.
Well, I mean, they could have. It's easier to make just half of one,
Yeah.
than a whole one, maybe.
Yeah, but no, out of universe, it makes sense they're reusing it. Except, in a couple episodes later, we see Culber wearing a silver one.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's
Yeah,
prop
but, okay,
department.
so-
somebody's not tying this together for them.
Making stuff for the main cast, okay,
Yeah.
knowing that it could be reused, is different than we need to put something on this person and it's the last time they're going to wear it.
Yeah.
So this is akin to, Jonathan Frakes being put in Avery Brooks's DS9 uniforms.
Yeah.
Oh,
and all the background extras in season 3 of TNG that were
Yes.
still wearing the jumpsuits.
yes.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Which I don't mind that because it made sense in context.
No,
but
it did
that's a
make sense
different
to
issue.
changing of the flow change of the uniform. That's fine, but yeah, in universe, it doesn't make sense for Arium to have a blue environmental suit.
Maybe she's just partial to blue. I don't know.
Well, but we
Go
digress.
find Project Daedalus. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So up next is what? Red Angel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is where it's like, suddenly it's like, this is where, like I said, cringy. It's all about Michael. It's your mama is the Red Angel. You know what I mean? Or and it's like, this is where I think fans also cringed a little bit. I mean, it's a good episode, don't get me wrong, but it's also like, oh, this season's really, this whole thing is being caused because of Michael or her mother. You know what I mean? And that is a little bit of it's a moment where it's like, oh, okay, it's all about Michael. And it's like galaxy implicating things are once again coming back to this character.
It's not just her, though, because we do have the Section 31 element.
Yeah.
So it is partially that, too. Also, the idea that the Klingons were investigating time travel makes no sense to me whatsoever. But that's fine.
Yeah. I think, the one thing we maybe haven't mentioned here, and maybe it happened in Red Angel or the prior episode or two, was Leland getting injected by...
Oh, yeah.
Remember the whole story? Everyone thought it was the Borg. Like, this is the creation of the Borg. There was that whole tangent that started there. Control was the Borg. And I was so happy.
Leland gets injected in it's when Culber comes back.
Okay, so it's about that was about 2
they have to add
ago.
the extra power, don't they, for that when they're pulling Discovery out of it might be a little later.
Yeah, but he's not... No, the thing where that is in his eyes, it's either in this one or the previous one.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It must be the previous. I think it's the previous one. But yeah,
The important thing to know, I guess we did for the sake of talking through it, is by this point Leland is Control, and he's part of he's no longer human. He is whatever he is, Borg, nano, whatever.
Everybody hates him. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that scene this morning. I almost spit my coffee out because I thought it was so. Congratulations, Leland. Everybody hates you.
The first time I saw that episode, I immediately made a GIF out of that scene.
Oh, yeah.
She's so fabulous.
I love her.
Giorgio, gay icon.
I think it's either in this. Yeah, okay. The scene with Giorgio, Stamets, and Culber in engineering. We had DEF CON level fun in my universe, and they both look at me and go,
no.
Well, in this universe and in every universe I can think of, I'm gay.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like that. It's a perfect time to say it without it being a thing, right?
Yeah.
Not being too in your face, right? So it's Michael's mother.
So binary.
Yeah. Don't be so binary, she said it. I think the important thing here is we find out the Klingons were involved with Michael's parents being killed. We'll say killed with quotation marks, but it was over the time crystal, so that makes their involvement make sense.
Instead of just a random attack.
Yeah, they were like, no, you desecrated Boroth, however, Borith, and they were trying to come back and collect their time crystal. So that really, strong tie in there, and it makes sense. So, but yeah, this for me, this is like the beginning of the end of the season, because at this episode, it all just starts moving really fast. It could be one. It could be one big long movie at this point.
Chrissy, you have it in your notes. Actually, it's in Perpetual Infinity when Leland gets taken over by Control.
Oh, okay. Well, you can thank Trek Course Review for that. That's one I didn't see.
So it hadn't happened by this point.
Oh, no. It happens. Okay.
Oh.
He gets stabbed in the eye at the end of Red Angel. Perpetual Infinity is when there's the beginning of Perpetual Infinity is there's that scene where it's hologram Leland talking to real Leland right before killing real Leland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
But he does get stabbed in the eye in the Red Angel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like I said, it all starts to run together for me, and I also just watched all these episodes back to back in the last 2 days. I think I started with Red Angel was where I started last night, and I just watched them all since then. But like I said, some of these they're 45-minute, 40-minute episodes, and they literally bookend with each other. Like Red Angel and Perpetual Infinity kind of just keeps going together.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because Perpetual Infinity just picks up immediately where it leaves off. We get Gabrielle Burnham's story. My little not serious headcanon is that during all these trips back in time, she also decided to spend some time as a police detective in 21st century Baltimore. Because the actress was on The Wire.
Okay. I don't understand why you're saying that.
That's because that's where I knew her when she showed up, is because she was one of the main characters on The Wire. That's why.
Cool.
So we find out that she's been trying to stop Control all this time. Because she got blasted 950 years into the future and all of civilization is dead.
Yep.
Right.
Because of AI.
Why is it? Because of AI. Yes.
Hey, I think
now
we're right on schedule.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Seems like World War III is right around the corner, so.
For real.
Anyway.
So then we have one more, I guess we call it pit stop episode, I call it, after everything's moving along. Yeah, so we have to go get this last piece, which is the trip to Boreth again. Or back, we do see it very briefly back early in the season with Laurel and Ash. But now it's we need a time crystal because we're going to have to build a new suit. That's because Michael's mom and the suit get sucked back in, and we did that to keep Control from getting it.
Yep.
And now it's
from getting the sphere data,
and then getting the sphere data. So now it's what are we going to do? How are we going to stop this again? Well, we have all the schematics for the suit, and but we don't have a time crystal. Well, now we got to go get a time crystal. So perfect episode for this one last pit stop to go get that final piece. We need to go get a.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that Kenneth Mitchell played a Klingon back in.
That's right. Yeah.
Point of Light, and now we get him playing another Klingon in Through the Valley of Shadows. I remember when I saw this episode and we realized that was Kenneth Mitchell. I remember tweeting something like, "From this point forward, in every episode of Star Trek, anytime there's a Klingon, it should be played by Kenneth Mitchell." And unfortunately, they haven't been able to do that. But it would have been nice.
Well, that's yeah.
This episode, fantastic.
It is. It's really well played, and I love that basically the events of this episode give us, Pike's arc for the entire season 1 of Strange New Worlds. It's what happens here, and I love that it ties together. I love that we didn't just jump into Strange New Worlds without having Pike have to deal with what happened in this episode.
Yes.
And so, but we go to Boreth, time crystals trip. A lot of cool things happen here. Of course, Michael and Spock, this is when they've realized that Control is basically Section 31. There's no difference at this point. And of course, we get all these future, they're like flashbacks, but they're future, they're visions of the future of Pike, having his accident and ending up in his chair. But yeah, it is like I said, it's a little bit of a pit stop episode because that was my thought on it last night. Was okay, this is just one little pause, after after Red Angel and Perpetual Infinity tying together, and things move really fast in those two. We got to go get this last piece, and then we're into basically what could be an excellent movie finale if you broken into two parts. Yeah, it is. It's a movie. It really is.
Oh,
And like,
yeah.
100%. It can be watched that way now.
It absolutely can be watched that way. I watched the whole season throughout the week, and then I rewatched these last 2 episodes this morning before we recorded. And yeah, it's absolutely a movie.
Well, and it is part 1, part 2. So it literally, it's meant, but this is, the last stand. We have to get Discovery to the future, and everyone's getting together for what will become the final showdown between about, 30 big Section 31 ships, and just the Enterprise and and Discovery. I almost said Voyager. Discovery. That would have been cool.
It would have been. No time travel,
So once again, I think what's really cool about the way this one is we get another short Trek tie-in to at the beginning how this starts.
Yeah.
Well, first, they are going to destroy Discovery to destroy the sphere data. And then Discovery will not allow itself to be destroyed. Yeah. So that's,
Which you could say is a different short trek, is like
also
a bit of a different short trek tie-in.
Calypso.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretending that doesn't exist until we get explanation.
Discovery itself becoming, a sentient being is starting to happen, and all that continues to play out in the show. But okay, yes, it turns off its self-destruct. It turns on the shields to avoid photon fire, which, my only beef with that is, you can fire enough torpedoes at a ship that the shields will fail. And but would Discovery start firing back? Would it
that's
learn
what
how
I
to
was
drive?
wondering. Yeah.
Would it learn how to drive the spore drive and take itself away? Would it,
I wouldn't think it would be able to do a controlled spore jump, not without...
But it could warp away.
Yeah, it could warp away.
Yeah. The other thing that, not to get down a tangent here, but we see in season 4 that Discovery can jump to the edge of the universe, pretty much. They could have gotten that far away from control, because we know how far that is, right? That could take, literally hundreds of years for control to find Discovery again if they had jumped that far.
Yes, but they needed to, again, course correct. They needed to have an excuse to get Discovery in a completely different time so that they could stop running into the issues of it being a prequel.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm giving you their own actions later that
absolutely.
show that didn't have to go down that way. So, okay. So Discovery won't.
I was going to say, I can retcon that for you. They don't want to have Discovery run at all, just in case it's already part of the computer system.
Yeah.
Control. So there you go.
Yeah. Cool thing though is, we get, what else happens? I love it. The Enterprise basically shows back up, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now we get, of course, with that, you get Una back.
We get the bridge of the Enterprise for the first time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't think
that was
we
right.
know Una yet. They didn't call her Una yet. At least she
Pike
refers to herself
calls
as
her
number 1
Una
at the
once.
Oh, okay.
In the episode.
Right.
At the end, she just says her name is number 1.
Right.
But Pike
That's
does
why I
call
forgot
her
the
Una at one point when they're at one point during the torpedo thing. He calls her Una. Although the subtitles say Nuna, which are wrong.
Of course they do.
Yes, that is wrong. Yeah.
So and this is it's like halfway through the episode. I had to fast. I stopped halfway through this episode last night and had to pick it back up this morning. And when I was fast forwarding into the episode a little bit, I was like, oh wait a minute, this is halfway through when the whole Sahia thing kind of comes in.
Yeah.
We're halfway through this episode, because you're right. They do take some time to evacuate. That whole evacuation scene with the bridges between the ships and corridors. That was really cool to watch, seeing that happen, and really good special effects. Once again, we're kind of getting to movie level special effects that come back for this one.
Yeah. So we need Poe to be able to use her dilithium recrystallizing technology to help charge the time crystal. So I have a minor gripe here.
Okay.
Jet Reno talks about how this is like using a waterfall, getting a drink from a waterfall, and it's going to burn out when you use it. So they could have explained this a little better in such a way that I wouldn't have a gripe, but they never actually explain how. So now they're thinking they can use. They're basically implying they can use it once and then it'll burn out. Yeah. And yet, Michael Burnham makes multiple more jumps and then goes to the future.
I think I can retcon that for the cage.
Yeah,
they
we
put
absolutely
around it.
can.
I mean,
you can easily retcon it. You can say, well, it used less power to go back a few years. It used less power to do one person rather than dragging the ship behind you. But they never say any of that.
Yeah. Well, it's implied. It's implied. Quite little, just little thing is I don't understand why Poe has this Hawaiian name. Like she has this Queen of Hawaii name, and I lived in Hawaii for 18 years, so I'm like, this is such a Hawaiian name, and it's probably almost intentional, but
probably.
But I was like, it's just a thing. You get the little bit of after that, you got Culber and Stamets having a little goodbye scene or trying to say goodbye scene. Which only sets up that it's not goodbye.
Right. Yeah. But it's still, it's nicely done. Yeah. I do like that somehow Sarek and Amanda know where they're at. I mean, although there's no other communication possible within the Federation. We can't Sarek and Amanda can't tell the Federation fleet, get to this coordinates and go help. You know what I mean? There's about to be this, that's that whole suspend disbelief. But the scene between Michael and her parents Vulcan mysticism. That goodbye scene between Michael Burnham and Sarek and Amanda. And Sarek showing a little bit, asking for forgiveness for his, sometimes harsh actions as a parent. And as a husband. I was waterworks watching that scene again this morning.
Oh yeah.
Every scene where he is understanding how poorly he did with Michael makes me more mad about the relationship with Spock being so bad. It's just like, yeah.
But, and this is where, like I said, this episode kind of starts to, it should have just been a movie, right? Because they split it into two. Everything is like, at this point, the rest of this episode is like, all these little things that we're building up the battle that's coming. We have our goodbyes. We have Tyler saying he's staying. We've got Pike saying the crew leaving their messages to their families, which become problematic toward the end when everything has to be classified. Pike says his goodbyes, which I thought were really great, showing the respect that he had that season. And Reno just becoming badass again.
Yeah. I still don't like you. Feelings mutual.
Yeah. What were your guys' takes on Giorgio telling Pike she's Terran, and he's like, and he basically does the wink, I knew, or whatever?
I assume that Admiral Cornwell told him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I find it okay that he knew, but I just Cornwell. Yeah, we'll blame Cornwell.
It's some point he probably got a better briefing on what actually happened to Discovery. Not because he walked into it knowing that Lorca had been a problem, but beyond that, he didn't.
And he clearly didn't know who she was the first time they met.
Yes.
But I assume he probably got a briefing from Cornwell.
Yeah, or Michael told him.
I buy that. Yeah,
Michael probably wouldn't have told him, just because. But that's another thing. They don't really keep it secret either, as much as they're supposed. Because they talk about it openly on the bridge in part 2.
Yeah.
And then in season 3, it seemed that everyone just knows when she leaves.
Yeah. Well, once you've traveled 300 years in the future and nothing you're doing actually is.
Yeah.
It's not it's not like the mirror universe was a secret at that point.
Sure.
So,
yeah. So basically, at this point, battle begins, episode ends, part 2 begins, and suddenly we have 200 ships that are coming out of Discovery and Enterprise, which like, okay, I don't think all the shuttle bays in the world, but like, no, where are all these ships and shuttles coming from?
Excellent question.
I mean, that's all this. And then of course the Section 31 ships do their own crap too. Like they've got 200 ships themselves and things that we've never seen happen again in Star Trek. And that's low-key problematic for me, but okay.
It felt kind of Battlestar Galactica-esque. Because, like, in BSG, they always launch all the fighters, and
And Star Wars-y, too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, instead of just having big ships fighting, which we're used to traditionally in Trek, we have these little, But we do get some really cool things in this battle, as far as Enterprise trying to protect Discovery, some moving in front and taking barrages. That's some really good choreographed things that are just kind of cool to watch.
Klingons showing up to save the day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's kind of nice to see that ship show up and do something differently than what happened in Battle of the Binary Stars or whatever. What else happens in this? I mean, everything just kind of happens really fast in this episode, right? Yeah. Michael having to figure out.
We talked about it a little earlier, but there's the torpedo that slams into the Enterprise saucer section that they can't disarm it in time, so they're gonna have to shut the door, and it can only be shut from the inside the room with the torpedo, which seems like a really poor design decision there. But even if it can only be shut from there, use like one of the automated worker robots or something. Like,
or we couldn't get a transporter to beam her out after the door was shut.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of
what is that door and the rest of the hall, what the rest of that wall made out of? That the torpedo is right next to it. It literally blows up like destroys like the front of the saucer section. It's gone after it explodes, and yet the wall that it was right next to is fine.
Yeah, it's a piece of pie.
Plot armor.
Yeah.
But it looks like a cookie somebody's taking a bite out of.
Yeah. Plot armor. Yes. I just, Jane Brooks did such a great job.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I will say, plot-wise, she shouldn't have needed to die, but she does a great job.
No, I just, in the grand scheme of things, I would have loved her not dying. So that, and I know Mary Chieffo has a thing that she was beamed onto the Klingon ship. That's one way that Admiral Cornwell is still with us, and maybe that would be something that could be introduced later, like they've kidnapped her for some reason.
I like that. I mean, they have previous relationship with that, with those two. So what bothered me about that was that I realized it was seconds away, but like she just stood there. Like if I had 10 seconds to live and I had one last try at something I already tried on the
you'd still try to disarm the bomb?
I wouldn't be just standing there. I'd be screwing with the keypad, but okay.
Yeah. So Leland beamed on the Discovery, kind of further foreshadowing the visions that people had, but it didn't quite go the way it went. And then we get Giorgio and Non. Yeah, they get into this whole big cat fight throughout the ship, which was really well done. We really get to see Giorgio and Michelle Yeoh bring out the other talents that she has, being trained in the martial arts, and that's pretty cool. Not that we didn't see those before, but that's pretty cool there. I think the biggest thing is like when Spock and Michael are on that piece of debris, and they have like the epiphany that you have to go. It's not going forward. You actually have to go do the things in the past so that, these actually really happened. And it's like a click moment, and it's pretty cool. And it does make that's when the whole season makes sense, at least.
Yeah, and I like that we get the little flashback scenes to show us that.
Yeah.
It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, I mean, I give this season, it was like, the whole time you're watching this season for the first time, you're like, what's happening? What's happening? But it really was tied together with a pretty strong bow here in the last, 20 minutes. And you're like, oh, okay. So, I mean, basically, we get to the point where it's like she does all that. They get the jump forward. Leland dies. Discovery jumps forward. Michael jumps forward, to be continued. But then we get this big debrief.
Yep. And I guess they take Spock's advice and decide that the records will not... First off, they tell everyone, and they all are unanimous in their statement that Discovery was destroyed, so that's what they tell everybody. But then they also say that Spock tells Starfleet that they need to remove all records of the Spore Drive, etc., so that they never try to do it in the future.
Yeah.
And that's how we retcon the fact that we don't have a Spore Drive in later shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why Voyager wasn't a half-hour series.
I mean, it did, like I said, whether it's far-fetched or what, it does make it all make sense. And it does stop the naysayers that were bitching about Discovery from day one.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Well,
They'll never be happy.
No, but it does. You don't have to just say because of that. If you think about the two people who were the primary creators of that, one is dead and the other one is 900 years in the future. So, and they only could make it properly work with genetic modifications, which are illegal. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you might take it off the books just to make sure nobody tries to do it again. You know,
it's kind of like right up there with
there.
Genetic engineering and things like that. Like, okay, this is bad. Let's just not do this again. And there's laws around it or classifications.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, we now have from here we have to wait for season 3, and we have to wait for Strange New Worlds, because that's where we get to see both crews lean up. But wasn't it like the end of when I remember watching this for the first time, and I was like, yeah, now we're ready I'm ready to see more of Pike, Una, and Spock. I just remember that being that was like the strongest call. That's when the calls for what would become Strange New Worlds became the loudest.
Yep.
Like, you literally just set up another show in a sense. Not maybe as blatant as Legacy, but it's another thing.
Yeah. Before we step away from this, we get to see Georgiou kill Leland, and it is that moment of because she's like giggling while he's dying, and you
can tell that she's still the evil Georgiou.
Yeah, and all of that feeling that you had a moment of how much she's badass. You're like, oh wait, no.
She's still kind of mean and maniacal.
She's terrible. Yeah.
Revenge driven and whatnot. Well, and that's also something they say. Part of the Section 31 movie outline that they've said is she has to deal with her past. And so maybe at least in a sense that, because we only see her for a handful of episodes in season 3, and then she gets sent back into the past, and we haven't seen her since. We just we'll have to let her literally see how much they deal with that, and how much redemption she gets.
And I don't know that I want to see her redeemed. Maybe her place is to be that.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I think season 3 of Discovery will show that she has changed as a person, but at least somewhat. But yeah,
agreed. Wow, so.
That's season 2.
That was a lot.
That's season 2. What a great season, though. Yeah. It's a great season.
Oh my God.
It was a fantastic season. I personally think I still like season 1 a little more, but I did really enjoy this.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they're all different, and but I think this season's a little more cohesive, but there's a lot to love about one.
Just love them all. That's the great part about it.
Exactly.
Yes, I also do, in fact, love all Star Trek.
Even the bad ones.
Yeah.
Yep, even the bad ones.
So, Christos, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can listeners find you online? Do you have any current or upcoming work you want to mention?
Sure thing. First off, you can find me on Facebook in the BQN Collective. Pretty active in there, especially if you call me out. You can find me pretty much on Instagram only these days. Otherwise, either at Greek Geek SD or at What's the Tea Bev. You can find me on the network on All Good Things, which we're on a little hiatus right now, primarily so that Kelvin and Amy can do the view screen, which is mid-season right now. I think they're about 6 episodes in. I've already been on 3 episodes of that, so it doesn't feel like I've kind of quite even gone away. And I just dropped my first episode in ages of What's the T-Bev this week.
Yes.
You can find that on YouTube under What's the T-Bev, and you can find that also wherever you get your BQN audio podcast. It was a really good episode, and Brad Pritchett was on, and we even got some really good, strong talk about, LGBTQ rights. So kind of, in some ways, finally getting to what the show was envisioned to be a little bit when it was first created. But lots and lots and lots of Star Trek talk. Cool.
Always want that.
Yes.
Yeah. And thank you guys for having me on this week. It's been
Thanks
a
for
ton
being
of fun.
on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And thanks for giving me a reason to watch season 2 again.
Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not telling people that everyone hates them?
I mean, there's a few people that I could tell that to. Yeah. Right. In addition to here at Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on the BQN. That's that mostly twice weekly short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. I know we have not been good about this the last few months. We've been swamped. But we're going to get back to it. And I'm also on the various socials as the Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia, where you can see my opinions about Star Trek history and leftist politics. And it's an election year, so take that into account if you're going to follow me. Thad, where can people find you when you're not trying to recreate the spore drive so that you can retcon it into Voyager? I don't know.
Best place to find me is probably still on Twitter. I'm at Tyrannicus. That's TYRANICUS. I am also on Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Threads, with slightly less activity than Twitter, but I do cross post somewhat to all of them. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
You can find me, if you're listening to this when it comes out, you can find me on the Star Trek cruise, which will be sailing away a couple days after this episode releases. And, feel free to come up and say hi. I'm always happy to talk Star Trek. And you can hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl, called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C like the British do it, where we talk about movies and things that we've watched. We just recently finished recording our James Bourne episodes. So stay tuned to see what we do next. Or Jason Bourne. Who's James Bourne?
He is the love child of James Bond and Jason Bourne, obviously.
Yeah. We just finished our Jason Bourne episodes, yes.
Right. And don't forget about all of our other great shows here in the BQN. Here's a recording of me to tell you about them. What else can you listen to on the BQN? Replicate yourself a mug of hot chocolate and join Amy, Mark, Christos, and Kelvin as they discuss everything and anything in the Star Trek universe on All Good Things. Boost yourself with an energy drink and join Davey on YouTube and Twitch for reviews and live streams of classic, cheap, and sometimes more recent video games on Bargain Bin Gamer. Brew yourself a pot of coffee and join Jeremiah to discuss Star Trek Voyager on The Captain's Couch. Mix your favorite cocktail and join Mark and Matt at Cinema Z to discuss the films you probably missed but should definitely check out. Pour a cup of tea, Earl Grey, hot, and listen to Stephen and Keith as they discuss the next generation of Trek on Galaxy Class. Get yourself something caffeinated and learn an interesting bit of history with Chrissy and Jason on History with the Szilagys. Have a bowl of Flo-Meek soup and join Thad and Chrissy and a guest to discuss new episodes of Star Trek as they are released on Infinite Diversity. Have something to sharpen your mind and put your Trek knowledge to the test with the Treksperts quiz. Take a bite out of something that didn't seem edible and join Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley covering all things in New Trek, including that show that is Trek in all but name, The Orville, on Union Federation. Get your Sunday brunch ready for The View Screen, a live weekly talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy with featured guests talking about all things Trek. pour a glass of wine and spill some tea with Christos, where he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with an LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea, Bev? And Patreon members get to pass around that green bottle of Aldebaran whiskey once a month on the round table, and they can listen to It's Green with Mark White and Amy's Math Moments.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music, and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
And if you'd like to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts, or this show specifically at IDIC Podcast. And you can talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective. When you next hear from us, we'll be recapping Season 3 of Discovery. Until then, we bid you peace and long life.